My boyfriend's friends pretending to abduct me for a proposal. I was 7 months pregnant when they did it. My boyfriend Marcus, not to be confused with his college roommate also named Marcus, which is somehow relevant to this story, told me he had a work emergency and would be gone all Saturday. Fine. I was used to his unpredictable schedule. He worked in logistics, which in my experience means something is always on fire somewhere, and it's never his fault. I had a whole day planned. Prenatal yoga at 10, then a long bath, then a slow afternoon of doing absolutely nothing except eating cereal in bed and watching the cooking competition show I'd been saving. I was 31 weeks pregnant. I had a sciatic nerve that had basically declared war on my left leg, and the one thing I needed that Saturday was peace. I made it to 12:04 p.m. before everything fell apart. I had forgotten my prenatal vitamins in the backseat of my car. I know, you're supposed to keep them in the kitchen, but I'd taken them in the car the week before on the way to an appointment and just never brought them back inside. Pregnancy brain is a real and documented condition, and I will not be taking further questions. So I waddled out through the front door in my oversized sweatshirt, maternity leggings, and the slides I'd been wearing for 3 days straight because they were the only shoes that didn't make my feet feel like sausages in a too small casing. The driveway was quiet. My neighbor Dottie was watering her petunias across the street and gave me a little wave. Normal Saturday. I got to my car and reached for the door handle. That's when the black van pulled up. I didn't recognize it. I didn't recognize the two figures who jumped out wearing ski masks and dark clothes. What I did recognize was the threat, and my body responded before my brain even had a chance to catch up. I went completely silent. Not screaming, not running, just silent. Which I later found out genuinely terrified everyone involved. One of them grabbed my arm and I bit him. Hard. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed either. He made a sound like a dog that had just stepped on something and yanked his hand back. The other one started whispering, it's okay, in this urgent panic tone that did absolutely nothing to calm me down, because that is not something you say to a person you are currently trying to kidnap. I got one good backward kick in before they managed to steer me toward the van. The whole time, one hand stayed on my stomach. I wasn't thinking about escape routes or self-defense or anything logical. I was just holding my stomach, repeating the same words over and over. Please don't hurt my baby. Please don't hurt my baby. Like if I said it enough times, it would become a binding agreement. Dottie, I want to be clear, watched all of this happen in real time and did not move. She told me later she thought it was a bit. I don't know what that means. Inside the van, I was hyperventilating. I couldn't see much. The windows were tinted and it was moving. I was wedged between two masked strangers trying to keep my breathing slow enough that I didn't pass out, and it was not working. Then one of the masks slipped. The guy to my left reached up to adjust it and it just fell, and I was looking at my boyfriend's college roommate. His name is also Marcus. He is 34 years old, a licensed electrician, and at that exact moment he looked like a man who had made a series of increasingly bad decisions and had only just now understood where they had led him. He stared at me. I stared at him. He said, okay, so Marcus, I said, just hear me out, Marcus. The van stopped. The doors opened and they walked me, slowly, carefully, one of them still whispering, watch your step, into a restaurant I had driven past 100 times but never been inside. It was dim and warm, and there were flowers everywhere. Not just a vase on the table. Everywhere. Arches of them, cascading down from the ceiling. More flowers than I had seen in my entire life collectively. And there was my boyfriend, down on one knee. Our families arranged in a semicircle behind him, a few of them already crying. One of his aunts holding a phone horizontally because she was filming. He was holding a ring box and his hand was shaking. He started saying something. I genuinely could not hear it. There was a ringing in my ears from the adrenaline and the hyperventilating and the still present shock of having been grabbed off my own driveway 17 minutes earlier. I looked at him. I looked at the ring. I looked back at him. I said yes. Then I started crying so hard I couldn't breathe, grabbed the back of a chair to hold myself up, and threw up directly into the centerpiece. The flowers were hydrangeas. They did not survive. His aunt kept filming.